Girls, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. By way of introduction, my name is John Bartholomew. I hold the office of the official town crier of Bexhill-on-Sea, and also that, the Sergeant of the Admiralty of the Cinque Ports, and I will be your compere for this evening. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding to greet the mayoral party, led by the Town Mace of Office. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Pray be seated. And once again, welcome to this, the Bexhill-on-Sea Town Council Annual Town Meeting. The schedule for this afternoon will shortly commence with a welcome from our Mayor. This will be followed by a short prize-giving ceremony, then an interval where tea and coffee will be available at the hatch from the back of the hall. And finally, around about 6:15, the meeting proper will begin. And at that juncture, you can individually come down to the front and ask any questions of the town councillors directly. I can see you're all smiling. Good. First, however, a little bit of domestic bliss here at the venue. Toilets are located through this door here and turn left. In the event of an emergency, and we need to evacuate, I will ask you to do so. Please leave by the nearest available exits. There are exits at each end of the hall and the front here. And finally, please make your way to the churchyard opposite, where we will assemble and do a head count. And one more thing. Would you kindly put your phones onto silent or vibrate, please? Thank you very much indeed. So thank you for your attendance to these matters, ladies and gentlemen. So now may I introduce the Town Mayor of Bexhill-on-Sea, Councillor Paul Wilson.
Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me at the back? Thank you. Light acknowledgement. So good afternoon all. Welcome everyone to this parish meeting. For those who don't know me, just going to announce my name is Paul Wilson. I was elected to the role of Chair of Bexhill Town Council, which comes with the added responsibility of the civic role of Mayor of Bexhill-on-Sea. This happened May last year. It's been an absolute honour to represent Bexhill in that civic role and has enabled me to meet so many people over the last 10 months. Civic-wise, the year started for me with Bexhill Day, and where there was so much of a greater turnout than previously, and those that were there enjoyed the event. I never actually expected to fist bump a 14-year-old on the way to my first speech, but that actually happened, which is great because the Mayor should respond to everybody. Remembrance Day was a major undertaking for the team to make the arrangements for the procession from Devonshire Square down to the seafront. It was a challenge for me as well, as I had a hip replacement 27 days earlier. It was great to see so many people there, and it seemed there were more than previously, and it enabled us to remember the fallen. Christmas lights showed a significant improvement on previous year, including lights in St. Leonard's Road, which I think was the first time. I'm sure it will further evolve as we listen to feedback to improve them for the betterment of the town. It was a standout moment for me personally when I was invited to the House of Lords by the Sussex Community Foundation to exalt the loveliness of our town, and that's something I will never forget. At this point, I would like to thank Councillor Hussain for his unwavering support to me. It is a team game, and the Bexhill Town Council as a corporate body are one team supporting the evolution of Bexhill-on-Sea. So thank you, Mem, and thank you to all my fellow councillors that are here tonight. Okay. It's worth remembering that Bexhill Town Council has only been in existence for nearly 4 years, and it takes time to establish an organisation, create a strategy, and start to make things happen for our great town. But there is something I ask of residents that are here tonight. If you see information on social media relating to work that we are doing, it may contain misinformation. Whilst the world is accepting of free speech, facts are more important. So if you're in doubt, contact the Bexhill Town Council, pop into the hub in Western Road, or talk to your ward councillor to get the true facts. We all know that residents want action from the Town Council, and I have great expectations of what is on the horizon. I'm going to talk about a few examples of actions we plan to take. Some of you will have seen the work starting in Marine Gardens to change the layout of those gardens. Whilst the wildflowering experiment was interesting and liked by many, it caused concerns with residents, so we've listened and are now carrying out one of the first joint projects between the Town Council and Rother District Council to improve that area. Residents have also been saying to councillors that they would like the general appearance of the town to be improved, so we will be employing town rangers to carry out exactly that. Further communications will follow, so watch the Town Council website and Facebook pages as the plan is developed. We're at the final stages of the planning and legal process to start a fully accessible play park in Pebsham, next to the Pebsham Community Centre, which would be a tremendous facility when completed alongside the disabled toilets in the community centre that we've also part funded. And hot off the press, in case you haven't seen it, is news that we've agreed to take licences out on many of the closed toilets in Bexhill. Further information will follow, but that's a really positive thing for residents here, which is what you've all been asking, and that's what we've listened to, and that's what's going to happen. So they're just a few key projects that are progressing. So back to my role as Mayor, I get many invites from organisations in Bexhill to visit their events, and it's very clear to me that without all the volunteers we have in Bexhill that put their time into organisations they are passionate about, the town wouldn't be as good as it is now, and residents would be much less supportive. So I personally, if you are a volunteer here tonight, I personally thank you. The work you do is brilliant. You are all great for our town. Bexhill Town Council also recognised this year that so many organisations need financial support for some of the projects that they are undergoing. This could be from sports clubs that need equipment or to artist groups that want to put on events, and we want to support them, but they can't afford necessarily to do these things. So we've increased our grants budget to enable us to support many more organisations in Bexhill. We believe in the community and we want to support it. I use the word collaboration, I've tried to add it up, many times each week in the work that I'm doing, and it's vitally important that all organisations in Bexhill work collaboratively for the benefit of the town. No more working in independent silos and not knowing what other organisations are up to. This was exemplified this week at the Chamber of Commerce breakfast when I was there representing the Town Council, the Chamber of Commerce who organised it, the Chief Executive of Rother District Council, East Sussex County Council, and last but certainly not least, the Chair of our Town Board were also there, and I believe it's the first time that 5 different organisations were in one room at the same time. That's what we should be doing in Bexhill, all working together. I can't speak without mentioning the local government review, which is currently out at consultation stage. Please do complete the consultation. It's your opportunity to feed back to central government opinions on how that's going to work. In the strong likelihood that the suggested changes happen, it's likely over the next 3 years that East Sussex County Council and Rother District Council will be no more and will be replaced by what's called a unitary authority. That, for us as a town council, is likely to be covering a much larger area, as there will no longer be any district or borough councils. Within Bexhill, we are very well placed to receive those changes as we have a town council, unlike Eastbourne and Hastings that are very frantically finding a way of introducing some local governance. That, added to the white paper called devolution, will mean that the government they've announced they're keen to devolve assets down to local governance, which is us, and activities to local councils could mean Bexhill Town Council could be responsible for much more. This will mean we can really make a difference and make our town even better than it currently is. There is likely to be an overarching mayoral strategic authority covering the whole of Sussex. I'm a great lover of Sussex, I've lived in it most of my life. That will raise the profile of Sussex, and for those that haven't heard of this phrase, I will just say, we won't be druv. I'll leave you to Google it to understand if you don't. This is the single biggest challenge in local governance for 51 years. The last time was 1974. This is a major change for all governance that will help us. I won't hide behind facts relating to money. Some of these things that we are doing, or may do, will end up costing taxpayers a little bit more money. Within Bexhill, a Band D roughly pays £50 odd a year. Other villages in our area pay an awful lot more. We will be very prudent over the money that we're going to spend, but this is about the community, what the community want to make the town a much better place. How the land lies in 3 years will be through negotiation, but if you have any thoughts on the subject, again I ask, please complete the consultation. Failing that, talk to your relevant ward councillor. They're aware of what's going on, they'll be able to support you. To finish, I'd like to talk about me. My family have been involved in parish council since 1914. My father was a councillor for 50 years, and I first stood in 1999. It's in my family DNA that we support local organisations and communities. That's why I'm so proud to be the mayor of our great town, and I thank my fellow councillors for entrusting me with this role. I'm also very proud of the photograph that sits proudly alongside my 93-year-old mother in our nursing home, who points out to every visitor that I'm her son. She has dementia, and that's the only trigger that she can remember who I am. None of what is occurring would happen without the operational team of Bexhill Town Council in the hub in Weston Road. That's our clerk, Julie, and all of the team, and I pass on my personal thanks for their hard work and dedication. They're all here today, so it's a big thank you for me. Thank you very much indeed for all the work that you do. I'm getting towards the end, just about. I chose Sidley Cricket Club as my chosen charity. I'm also doing a gala event on the 26th of April. I've got a few tickets left. If anybody wants to, then get hold of me. It's a lovely evening, we hope. They've got a crowdfunder out. They're trying to raise £60,000 to get electricity to St Mary's Lane, where they play cricket. So if you have got any spare money, have a look on the great internet, crowdfunder Sidley Cricket Club. So at that point, I've taken up enough of your time, especially as we lose an hour overnight, but that enables us to enter spring and better weather, and hopefully looking forward to a bright future for our great town. Finally, thank you for listening, and if residents want to talk to me, there will be time afterwards. Do come and talk to me, I want to listen. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much indeed. Now, we move on to the prize giving. Yay! So, the award starting with number 1. This person is being awarded for her innovative work, setting up and running Bexhill Friends of the Down. This organisation has planted many native trees and wildflowers, spearheaded by this person, who is as happy doing the dirty work as much as organising. This has had a positive impact to the environment and a noticeable reduction in littering on the Downs. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the front Mrs. Wendy Dennis.
Just like to say thank you very much to all my volunteers who, of course, nothing would happen unless we had volunteers to help us. We started in 2020 and we've got 24 paid up members now, and we get about 6 to 10 people coming out every 2 weeks to weed and mulch the 2,500 trees we've planted over the last 5 years. It's quite hard work, as you can imagine. And then I'd also like to thank my secretary Corinne, my treasurer Stephen, without whom there wouldn't have been a community group, and my long-suffering husband who helped me load up that trailer with spades and stakes and heavy things, and then we put it on the car and take it on to the grounds. So, and also thank you for all the donations and grants we've had, and thank you from me personally.
Thank you.
Our next recipient works tirelessly to keep the streets of Bexhill-on-Sea clean and free of litter, out and about most days, regardless of the weather, and always ready to have a polite and cheery word with anyone who takes the time to stop and talk to him. Please, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the front, Mr. Rodney Summers. On to our next award winner. He has served as the mayoral cadet for Bexhill-on-Sea over the last 12 months. He has accompanied the mayor to several events, including Bexhill Day, Remembrance Sunday. Alex has the honour of being the first holder of the prestigious position. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Alex Lomax. See him add a few words, unless he's on parade, of course. Well done, my friend. Okie dokie, the big cup. We now come to the awarding of the Mullins Cup. This is presented to a community group or organisation that has made a big impact in improving the town. Celebrating its 40th anniversary, this organisation recruits, selects and trains volunteers for a home visiting scheme to help the substantially visually impaired maintain their independence. This is a free service to residents of Bexhill-on-Sea and the surrounding areas and is funded entirely by grants, legacies, donations and fundraising events. They provide a lifeline to visually impaired residents, assisting with the increasingly dark world surrounding them and often providing essential championship. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Home Call. Take the recognition. Come on.
I think our longest serving volunteer, Jill, can take the certificate for us. Jill's volunteered for over 30 years for our charity.
What John said, I've been to a couple of home calls at events. They're an amazing setup, and there's so many people in Bexhill that wouldn't be as well as they are without the group of supporters, the volunteers. And I didn't realise that a neighbour 3 doors away also was involved in it. It's an amazing organisation. If you've got any time, contact Belle, because she's incredible in what she does as well. So overall, I'm so delighted she's got the money in part because it's absolutely right.
And so, our final prestigious award this afternoon is presented to a community champion of exceptional character, and this is the highest award or honour a town council can give, the Freeman Award. This year, it is being presented to a former mayor and district councillor who has done so much for Bexhill-on-Sea. This person created the Poppy Car, which raises money for charity, and was principal in installing the Soldiers and Rosemary Tree on the seafront. She also helps organise the Rotary collection of goods for the food bank. Finally, she was instrumental in the creation of the Beach Garden project, a fully accessible garden on the beach on West Parade, Bexhill-on-Sea, and for which she raised more than £50,000. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mrs. Lynn Langens.
What John's explained is just a few of the things that need to be involved in. There's scarecrows,
yeah.
Forget the scarecrow, tank forum, lots of other things. Lynn is a force of nature that comes charging in, comes up with ideas. It's not about the ideas, she actually makes them happen. Lynn is almost unique, and I thank you for the work you do. And have done, and hopefully
I actually feel very humbled today because, I'll be honest, I have the enthusiasm, I have the passion, but you can't get anywhere without the community. It's them that make you what you are. I mean, I've got to say, my husband fought with me for 52 years, and he's worn out.
Well done, Jim.
Again, I couldn't make this happen. My mum and dad made me the person I am. My wonderful family put up with me. With like, here's an idea, and they say, oh, for God's sake. I'm sorry I was so emotional about it, but and at the end of the day, everything I've done has been done with the support of you. This is your award, because Bexhill cares, and the majority of Bexhill care, and you have absolutely enabled me to make this happen. And I'll keep going. I said the other day, I will keep going till my mind goes, my body goes, or my husband tells me that's enough. But I will keep going, and please just keep supporting me, because we will get it done.
Well, I think, ladies and gentlemen, a big round of applause for all our award winners this evening. And that concludes the award ceremony. So we're now going to take a short break. Tea and coffee is going to be served at the back. However, please be mindful that Culbaba Theatre, the lovely ladies there, dressed in their finery, are going to come and entertain you whilst the Royal British Legion take their leave. So we'll have a repast for about 15-20 minutes. Thank you very much indeed.
Oh,
Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the question time, and the opportunity for you to put any questions or concerns you may have to the Mayor or any of the councillors here. I would ask you to put your hand up if you wanted to partake, and then I'll ask you to come down the front. If you could introduce yourself and just name the ward or street that you live in, to the microphone here, if you'd be so kind. As I say, identify yourself by name, not address, but ward or road, as only electors of this town may put questions to the town council. And obviously name who you wish to address the question to. And I'll field as many questions as I can in the time allotted. So please be patient, and we will commence. Hands up, anybody? Sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, good evening. I'm Paul Lendon, a past mayor and a past councillor for 9.5 years. I represented St Stephen's ward. But what I've got to say first of all is I thought it was great what happened tonight. The way the town council has rewarded these people that have done really good work. I just think this shows its strength of this town council, and the people that have got it, I knew a few of them, and they really deserve it. But where I'm coming from now is I belong to quite a few different clubs and organisations in the town, and one of them is Probus, Bexhill Probus. I've got some cards here. I'm using this as obviously a chance to promote it. And this week, this is where you'll find it interesting. We have speakers. We have speakers once a month. And this month, it was wonderful. It was Southern Water. And we all know how marvellous they are, don't we? Eh? We all agree on that. Now, they gave us a presentation, and I couldn't understand a lot of it, but nevertheless, they did leave us some brochures. And I picked them up and I thought, well, I'll bring some along here tonight. So I don't know whether these can be distributed, if anyone's interested. I'll put them there.
Can we get to the question?
Yeah. Now, the question is the water feature. You know, it's been out. Many of you remember it? Yeah. Okay. Well, I would love to see it reinstated. Anybody else that thinks that? Put your hands up. What about the councillors? So would you like to all see it reinstated? Okay, because I think that's really important. Now, I thought Southern Water, they would be great, wouldn't they? It makes sense. Water, they're talking about how clean the water is now, and or isn't so clean when you look in the sea. But Southern Water, I asked them this question about the water feature, and first of all, the two guys weren't aware where it even was. So obviously I had to enlighten them, and I suggested they went and had a look. And I'm hoping now that they will, and you will, address Southern Water and work on some way of getting that water feature back. It's such an important for the young people, and it was such an attraction. So what my thought is behind the question tonight is, will the Town Council work with Southern Water to try and get those water feature reinstated? Thank you.
Councillors?
Yeah, all right. I think I'll have a go at that without making any commitments. We always hear that the whole of the town wants the fountains working. I mentioned earlier about not working in silos, and I think that is a typical subject that all organisations need to get together and find a solution to.
Yeah.
I'm aware of some work that is ongoing, which I can't comment on, but watch this space.
Brilliant.
We've heard a question, and they're being taken down, so we'll take that away, but I'm aware of some work going on around that subject, but I can't give the actual answer, but we know that everybody wants that in Bexhill. Whether it is possible, we don't know, but everybody wants that or something to replace that. So, thank you for the question.
Thank you for giving me some positive. That, you know, obviously I'm a realist. I realise that you just can't get it, but by the fact that you've recognised it and you know through your travels that the people in Bexhill want to see them reinstated, that to me is a win-win. So thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Any other councillors?
Can I just place in Kewhurst Ward. I was in Tenerife last week and took loads of pictures of a fountain on the seafront in Porto de la Cruz, which looks like it would be ideal. It was only concrete paving blocks, but when the water was on and they were covered, it looked wonderful and it would have warmed up. So I am still looking, taking pictures, and hopefully one day we will get them back. Not only that, my wife keeps moaning at me as well.
Can I just quickly come in there? You don't need to go as far as Tenerife to see the water feature. I recently went to the King's Cross area in London, and that is absolutely amazing. I don't know if you remember, it used to be a real gougery place, but now it's amazing. And one of the central features there, guess what? What do you think it is? It's a water feature. And so it just shows how important it is. You know. Thank you.
Thank you for your question. And the floor, sir.
Name is Ken Ellis, a resident of the Old Town Bexhill. Recently visited Little Common, got off at the bus, and I see a toilet with a for sale sign on it. Someone, in their wisdom, has stuck a poster across it saying, "Shame on our council." I stand here tonight, I look at you, our mayor, and say to you, are you ashamed at selling off our public conveniences?
Okay. Great question. First off, to answer you, Mr. Ellis, is that the toilets they're owned the majority by Rother District Council, and we've been working very hard with Rother to find a solution. Again, we all listen to what residents say. We see on social media it is an issue. We'll be making an announcement very soon, but if you have access to the internet, if you find the video from last Wednesday's full council meeting, it's all on there as to what is happening with the toilets. So the potential selling off is all part of devolution and the local government review, which I mentioned in my speech. So watch this space. There will be actions. They're ongoing now, and we're hoping for some really positive news when we make our press statement over it. So great question. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Mr. Mayor.
It takes a while, but things do take a while in local government.
Okay.
And we're nearly there.
All right. I have one second question, which I would ask of you. Many of people here, I guess, travel up and down Buckhurst Road.
Yep.
I would say to yourself, you're maybe not responsible directly for Buckhurst Road, but it's not a pothole issue.
No.
At the top end near to Sea Road, that road is subsiding terribly. Recently there was a protest held in town saying, when is it going to be fixed? Can you, as our town council, as our mayor, have any influence on getting that work sorted?
So again, another great question. It's not perfect. They've had several goes at it. We'll take the question away and we'll see what we can do to support your question. You're right, it's an East Sussex County Council Southern Water issue. So it's not in our domain to fix, but we can lobby and we'll take that question away.
Appreciate it. Many thanks.
Thank you, sir. Madam?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yes, Brenda Morgan, Collington Ward. It's the question about the situation with the doctors' surgeries. I went to a presentation about 3 years ago, and I saw so many drawings, and I said, when is this expected to come to fruition? They said end of 24, but realistically 25, and where it was going to be built, Rosewood Park. We recently went up there to have a look, and no building has started whatsoever. And you try and ask the receptionists at the doctors, they say, oh, we don't know. Do you have any idea?
I can't give you a definitive answer to that because it's not under the town council.
No,
so
I realise
we'll take
that.
that away and come back with the answer. But I'm aware that progress is being made, but it's difficult because there's a lot of people that could be engaged in it. We'll take that question away.
But do none of the councillors, are they, you're not involved, or?
If I may.
Please.
You may have heard in the press that NHS England is one of the quangos that the government has now got rid of. So it was all moving along slowly. However, it's now, I wouldn't say up in the air, but responsibilities and accountabilities are being reassessed now that we no longer have NHS England. But be aware that all my colleagues, councillors, and I'm also a member of Rother District Council, we are all trying to stay as close as we can to the situation, and we will keep the town updated via our various social media accounts and via our websites as to what's going on. But it's not through lack of desire, it's just the maze of legislation and ownership and funding that you've got to wade through to get anything done. And if any of you ever become councillors or have been councillors, you'll know just what a morass that is. You go in with what you think is a gold-plated good idea. Why don't we all do this? And a year later you think, yeah, I'm beginning to understand why it didn't happen. So the NHS England, the abolition of NHS England has thrown things a bit in the air, but as soon as things settle, as soon as there's anything definitive that any of us can tell you, either Rother or the Town Council, we will make that information available.
But the presentation, the plans that were shown were so comprehensive, and we thought, this is it, you know, we're going to have it.
I don't believe the size and shape, because the planning application was signed off. It was presented in detail to the planning committee, and the committee said, yes, we love it. But as I say, it's the money, as always. It's the money and who's responsible and where are the funds coming from. And that has, I don't say it has changed, but it's no longer game, set and match where it was.
We'll take your question away and see
Thank
if we can
you.
get a current official update.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Further questions? Anyone at the back? I can see you. Yes, sir.
Brailsford, resident Bexhill. Initially, when the toilets were going to be, or rather tried to hand them over to the town council, which was rejected on because they wouldn't do a lease, Rother District Council offered a sum of money for the council to take them on. I believe it was about 218,000. Is any of that money going to be done pro rata because you're going to take them on licences?
I can't officially answer that question. It's part of the ongoing negotiations. We will get clarity on it.
But they offered it.
They did on the grounds of a 125-year lease. A licence is a different setup.
How long is the licence going to last? I know I was there at the last council meeting. It was in theory from April to the end of October. Is that it? And we were going to spend all that money, or the town residents and the council were going to spend all that money to get them up so they can be opened, and then they could get sold off.
I can't answer that because I'm not able to see into the future, Paul.
Yeah.
We're closely working with Robert.
Understand that,
We're
but
breaking down barriers around responsibilities, and we will seek clarity around the future. Some things will happen, the world changes on a regular basis.
That, yeah.
Some may get sold, but let's not forget the agreement over the selling of it is that a public toilet will remain open if the toilet is sold. The leases, the licences that we're working on, it's about getting the toilets open. That's it.
Understand that, but
We're not going to be refurbishing them if we're potentially going to be handing them back, or potentially something else is going to happen. So I can't answer about the money that was on the table because it's a different...
okay, but the town council is going to spend a lot of money to get them open.
No.
Because I was at the meeting, some of them, there's electrical problems, the water's problems, and the one in West Parade is shocking, although that is open.
I can't comment on that because until the work is done,
Yeah.
and then we'll have the discussion over who's paying for that.
And I think that the East Parade
let's
one's
not
even
worry.
worse.
It's about what we're trying to do as
Yeah.
councillors is to provide the facilities which everybody.
I'm just trying to hold the council about the amount of money it's going to cost to get them done, because I think you've got £100,000, I think you earmarked for it.
Yeah.
Right, okay. The next one, I know there's a vacancy on the town council, which was announced this beginning of this week,
Yeah.
or the clerk was informed.
Yeah.
On the website, it still says no vacancies. When's that going to be updated?
As soon as it can be updated.
Okay.
Well, things do take time. The process is the
No.
information is sent to the returning officer at Rother, who then sends the details to the town council. Bearing in mind, the whole of the town council team is here today, so there haven't been as much time available Monday to Friday as usual. So it's in process.
Surely they could put just on, there's a vacancy.
It's in process.
Okay.
Paul, can I just say something there? I did click on the link today and it does say that there's a vacancy.
No, it says no vacancies.
Well, when I looked at it this morning, I clicked on where it says councillors.
A friend of mine back here just had a look at it and it says no vacancies.
All right, well, we must, you
So
might maybe
what I
refresh
would
the
say the
papers.
important thing is the information is in the public domain. Because the website may not be updated.
Yeah, but it's information to the public. And the
Yeah.
thing is, there is a time limit on it as well.
But that information is out in the public domain. So, thank you.
Okay.
So,
Good evening. My name's Fraser Smith. I live on Delaware Parade. I've got two questions. One is about the seats at the top of Galley Hill. Somebody asked me about them. And the other one is about the state. This is a post office question about the pillar boxes. I do a lot of walking around the town, and the state of the actual pillar boxes is quite rightly a disgrace. Any tourist comes to the town wouldn't want to put their letters in there. And I know it's a post office, I assume, but if you could get onto the post office, perhaps.
Questions. If I can take them in reverse order.
Yeah, carry on.
I don't think I've ever heard any comment on that, so thank you. We'll take that away.
What's that?
Can I answer that one?
Yeah.
I'll answer that in my capacity as a member of the Royal Mail. I work for Royal
All
Mail.
right, yeah.
They own the letterboxes that
Yeah.
you're referring to. There is a set programme for renovating those boxes. We have, as a town council, had anecdotal incidents like yourself coming in, asking, and we have asked Royal Mail to do something about it. The company itself is in turmoil because it's in the middle of being sold off to a Bulgarian millionaire.
Right.
And a lot of the infrastructural upkeep is winding down as that takes place. It's not a town council issue.
Oh no,
All
I gather that.
All we can do as a town council is lobby on behalf of our constituents to get that done.
Yeah.
But it is a programme of events that has to take place.
But to be quite honest, I wouldn't want to put one of my letters in if I was visiting Bexhill. I'm really a disgrace.
The sad thing about it is there are very few letters going in those boxes now anyway. Very few.
Oh yeah, I know that, but I mean, they're a rust bucket.
Yeah, they are.
You know, and it's terrible. You walk around and you think, oh, blimey, you know.
Yeah.
It's pretty grim.
Please raise your concerns with Rob.
Yeah, I appreciate it's not really your concern, but it's a Bexhill town, and it's a tradition to have a nice pillar box, even if nobody puts any letters in it.
Your first question was about the
Galley Hill seats, yeah. Right on the top, you know the ones right on the top?
Sorry, I'm Councillor Hazel Templey, Sackville Ward, which is where Galley Hill is.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the question.
It's about somebody asked me for this, about the seats have been removed at the very top of...
The benches.
I think, yeah. I think it's the ones they mean right on the cliff edge, I assume, and look out to sea, but they used to sit there, walk up.
Just so you know, a year ago, the coastal team advised Rother District Council that those benches were a safety issue because of the cliffs and the erosion that was very, very slow, but it was a hazard. So benches are being removed. Some have been removed already and relocated.
Oh, right, yeah.
Down, I think down the other side of Galley Hill.
Yeah.
And there are probably 3 left that are also going to be moved.
Yeah, I thought it was probably a safety issue. I could understand.
Unfortunately, a lot of the dedications on there, we can't trace the people to let them know, so we've done our best with the social media.
So they won't be replaced then? They just... They won't be. No, of course not. No. Okay, that's all they're asking. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you.
Any other questions from the floor, sir?
I wasn't going to ask anymore, but it's following what Paul said. He brought it to you that saying there's a vacancy now on the town council, and what I would like to see. And you've done a splendid job by putting your own notice boards up, and I take it in those notice boards you will be advertising for this new councillor's position. But where I feel it's a disgrace, and we've got a Rother councillor here as well, is the town hall itself. You've got a free petitioned notice board there, and in the town council section it's constantly blank. I'd like to see now, certainly, advertising for a councillor. And that notice board is a disgrace. It needs to be tidied up. And why? And I think it's pretty bad because I don't know if a lot of people realise, but a lot of the coaches that pick up people, that is a pick-up point. So when the coach pulls outside the town hall, people sitting on the coach can see that untidy notice board and they think, what sort of place is this? So that's something that I would like to go from this meeting on the back of what Paul just said. Thank you.
Thank you. Any response, Council?
I'd like to try and respond, but I'm not going to because I'm not sure that's one of our notice boards. But we'll take it away.
Yeah.
The operational team of the town council do regular checks and updates all of the notice boards. So we will check that out. We'll take that away and visit it. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please do.
Stand close to this, do I? I can't hear a thing back there. It might be my ears, I am very old.
Well, make sure they sound louder.
Yes. Good evening, councillors, and I'm not sure who I address, but it's suddenly come to me that I'm very, very annoyed about the commercial vehicles being parked in residential roads. Sometimes they live there, mostly they live in the area, but I counted 12 in Eversley Road. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you where I lived. 12 the other evening at least. There are 2 caravan type things. Now that's just that road. The rest of them, I know you have a permit, which I had myself when I had a car, to be able to park in these places, but surely commercial vehicles should be left at their place of work. It always used to be. It's what they call the white collar and the blue collar. And we never used to see, there's so many drivers about now are driving because that's their living. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, but they can't just keep parking. You're having such a job to find parking places for the normal car driver.
Yeah.
Sorry, I do get
It's a very valid point that you make. The world has changed, that a lot of people are now allowed to drive their commercial vehicles home.
Yeah.
And it's not something the town council can solve.
Can you not? I was wondering who I might address.
It's not our remit because enforcement of illegal cars is down to Rother and highways is East Sussex.
Yeah.
We can lobby, but we don't have any powers to do anything about that. That said, my understanding is if a vehicle is taxed and MOT and not abandoned, then they're just as entitled to park on the side of the road as any other vehicle.
Yes, but are they in roadworthy condition? One of them, I noticed today, I was coming back from shopping, and I'm very car-minded, is that one of them had a flat tyre. Now, how long is he going to be parked there? We do have the men come up and give them the landworks, you know.
So the solution is, if you're in doubt, is to report it to Rother District Council. But we will make a note of the question.
They've got to make a living, I know.
But if it's their vehicle and it's taxed and MOT, it's no different to another car, unfortunately. And they're as entitled to park on the road as anybody else, unless it's not taxed and MOT or abandoned.
Yes.
And does a flat tyre equal abandoned car? I don't know, I'm not an expert. But we'll take the question away. If you've got some examples, pop into the town council offices and maybe some photographs and they can...
Oh, I see. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Just brought it to the fore. People these days don't seem to notice anything. They seem to be blinkers. You know, I notice a flat tyre or something wrong with the car, your light's on, I will find out who it is and tell them, you know, your light's on, you not have a black screen in the morning. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you, madam. Oh, so you're running down the front then, running out the door. Oh well. Any other questions from the floor, ladies and gentlemen? Well, thank you very much indeed. That concludes the proceedings for today. And there are no more questions, so I would like to wish you all a very good evening. Would you please be upstanding as the mayoral party leave the auditorium. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, council.